It was a crisp autumn evening in October 2019 when Keanu Reeves entered a luxurious boutique hotel in Los Angeles. Dressed in his signature, unassuming black blazer and jeans, he appeared as just another weary traveler. What none of the hotel staff or guests knew was that Keanu wasn't just a guest, he owned the entire establishment. Keanu had envisioned the hotel as a sanctuary, a place where warmth and hospitality were paramount. But that evening, his ideals would be challenged. As Keanu approached the reception desk, a sharp-looking woman in her early 30s, Amanda, greeted him coldly. "Excuse me, sir," she snapped. "Do you even have a reservation? We don't just let anyone walk in here." Keanu, taken aback but composed, quietly replied, "Actually, I do." Amanda rolled her eyes, loud enough for nearby guests to overhear. "People like you think you can just stroll into places like this? This isn't a hostel," she sneered. Keanu remained calm, showing her his confirmation email, but she barely glanced at it. "This isn't the type of place you can book on a whim," Amanda continued. "We cater to an elite clientele, CEOs, celebrities, people who can actually afford it. I suggest you try somewhere else." Across the lobby, Emily and David, a young couple on their anniversary, exchanged worried glances. "Is that Keanu Reeves?" Emily whispered. David squinted. "No way. What would he be doing here?" But the scene at the reception desk unfolded with increasing tension. Amanda's condescending tone echoed in the lobby as she continued berating Keanu. "This place has an image to maintain. If you can't afford it, there's a motel down the street." Keanu, who had suffered tremendous loss in his life, finally spoke. "Is this how you treat all your guests?" Amanda smirked. "Only the ones who don't belong." Before Keanu could respond, the hotel manager James rushed into the lobby. His face went pale as he spotted Keanu. "What's going on here?" James asked, his voice trembling. Amanda gestured dismissively. "I'm handling a situation." "That's not just a guest," James said, his voice faltering. "That's Mr. Reeves. He owns this hotel." The room fell into stunned silence. Amanda's face drained of color as the truth hit her. Keanu, ever calm, said nothing. His mere presence and James's words were enough to expose her mistake. Emily and David, still by the fireplace, exchanged wide-eyed glances, their shock giving way to awe. Amanda's apology was faltering, but Keanu spoke before she could get more than a few words out. "I believe in kindness," Keanu said softly, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "It's the foundation of everything we built here. Everyone deserves respect, no matter who they are or how they look." Amanda's confident facade crumbled as tears welled up in her eyes. "I'm so sorry," she stammered. Keanu nodded but didn't offer an immediate reply. Instead, he met the gaze of the guests, the quiet silence in the room now palpable. He saw Emily and David, and then his gaze fell on the young boy sitting with his mother near the corner of the lobby. The boy, no older than 8, was watching everything unfold. His father had passed away, and Keanu's movies had been one of the few things they'd shared before he left. Keanu approached the boy, kneeling to meet his gaze. The boy handed Keanu a crumpled drawing, a superhero with the words, "To Mr. Reeves, the real superhero," written above it. Keanu, visibly moved, hugged the boy tightly. "Thank you for this. Your dad must have been an amazing person." The boy smiled faintly, tears in his eyes. "I think you're the nicest person in Hollywood." As Keanu stood, the entire lobby seemed to hold its breath. His heart ached, remembering his own deep losses, his late girlfriend Jennifer, his sister's battle with leukemia, and the death of his close friend, River Phoenix. Yet here he was, still able to share kindness, even after so much pain. "Heroes come in all shapes and sizes," he said softly, "and kindness is a power we all have." Amanda, still trembling, looked at Keanu, her guilt washing over her. But before she could apologize again, Keanu spoke. "I'm not interested in apologies," he said gently. "I'm interested in change." James, the hotel manager, stepped forward, visibly ashamed but determined. I'll make sure this doesn't happen again, Mr. Reeves. This isn't what we stand for. Keanu gave him a small nod, acknowledging the commitment to do better, but his eyes remained fixed on Amanda, whose tears were now streaming down her face. The world needs more kindness, Keanu said softly. The room, once filled with tension, now felt like a place of collective healing. Even Amanda felt the shift within herself. She would be better. Keanu turned to leave, but just before he stepped out the door, the older hotel maintenance man, George, sat down at the piano in the corner and began playing Clair de Lune, filling the room with a hauntingly beautiful melody. Keanu stood frozen for a moment, listening before he walked over and clapped softly, acknowledging George's playing. "That was incredible," Keanu said, his voice warm. "How long have you been playing?" "Longer than I've been fixing pipes," George chuckled, his eyes glistening. "My wife used to love this piece. Played it every night for her before she passed." Keanu placed a hand on his shoulder, his expression softening. She must have been lucky to have someone who loved her like that. The entire room fell silent as George's words sunk in. Keanu, lost in the moment, was reminded of his own deep love for Jennifer and the weight of everything he had lost. After George finished playing, Keanu thanked him quietly and turned to leave. He passed Amanda, who now stood with a renewed sense of purpose. Her eyes were red from the night's events, but her voice, when she spoke to Keanu, was steady and sincere. "Thank you, Mr. Reeves," she said. "Not just for last night, but for giving me a second chance." Keanu nodded, offering a simple piece of wisdom. "It's not about being perfect. It's about being better than we were yesterday." Outside, the sun began to rise over Los Angeles, casting a golden glow over the city. Keanu's footsteps were silent as he walked down the street, feeling like just another face in the crowd. Yet, despite the weight of his past, he felt a sense of peace that he hadn't felt in a long time. He took out his phone and typed a few words in his notes app before slipping it back into his pocket. "Kindness matters. Love heals. Even in the darkest times, we can be someone's light." Later that day, Amanda came in early for work, feeling a deep resolve. She had learned from Keanu that it wasn't just about appearances or status, it was about how we treat others, and with every guest she interacted with, she reminded herself of the man who had shown her what real kindness meant. As the morning passed, the young boy and his mother returned to the hotel to check out. The boy carried an envelope, Keanu's personal note to him, his face aglow with joy. He turned around and waved to Amanda before they left the building. Amanda, touched by the gesture, waved back, tears in her eyes. She understood now. It wasn't just Keanu who had given the boy a gift. The boy had given them all the chance to be better, to be kind. Upstairs, Keanu sat quietly in his suite, the drawing the boy had given him placed carefully on his desk. It reminded him of his own journey, his own losses, and the love he had given and received along the way. James, the hotel manager, sent a message. "Thank you for last night. You reminded us all why we're here." Keanu smiled faintly, his phone buzzing one last time. He typed a response. "Kindness is a ripple. Let's keep it going." And as he left the hotel, blending into the bustling city outside, Keanu Reeves knew that even amidst so much loss, he had found a way to keep giving. Because sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness leave the biggest impacts. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough.